Huh.
Hello there. Tonight's shave is courtesy of a subscriber and viewer. He wants to remain anonymous, so I'm not going to mention who he is, but he knows who he is. He sent me a PM, and he said, I just bought a jar of Martin de Candre original, and it'll take me 2-3 years the way I shave to get through this container of soap. He said the container is glass, and I was afraid that I would drop it and bust it, and then I'd be crying. So he said I took the stuff out of the container and switched it to another container, but the container I switched it to was so small that I've got like an ounce of it left over. He guessed that's about what it was. And he said, if you want it, just send me your address. He said, I'd love to see you do a review on it. So he sent me a sample, and that's definitely a good ounce. It's a soft soap, but not soft like Razor Rock or some of the other soft soaps. The best way I can describe it is it's a dry, almost putty-like consistency. And it looks like, to me, it's going to last wonderfully. So I'm going to do a review of it. I'm going to be using my my 9/16 Genco Grant with the Australian, or Tasmanian rather, Blackwood scales. And my Simpson Duke 2. And the scent of this soap, it's got some woody kind of back note to it. It's got a lavender component, but it's a lavender that's really unlike most of the lavenders I've sensed that I have smelled. To me, it smells like it's got maybe a bit of spice in the back note, just really, really subtle. There might even be maybe a bit of, maybe the woody notes I'm catching is maybe a touch of sandalwood, and I'm not sure. There's a citrus component to it as well. I'm going to go ahead and start lathering, and it's just a wonderful scent. It's one that I really, really like, and I'm gonna try a really light load of the brush. I have never put that light of a load in a brush, but everybody says, hey, this stuff doesn't take much. I've heard like 3 swirls on a puck. There's no way I'm going to try 3 swirls on any puck of soap, regardless of what people say. And I'm not going to do that. I want to make sure the thing has at least a decent chance to get filled. But now, that was probably 15 or 20 seconds, something like that. I'm already getting quite a bit of lather. Let's just lovely, lovely lather. So I would say, to those that are saying, well, and I'm going to put a little bit more water in that actually. For those that are saying, well, it doesn't take very much to make a lather from Martin de Candre, I have to agree. That was pretty darn quick, and I'm getting a ton more lather from just adding that bit of water. Lovely. And the lather is really rich. There's only a few lathers. When I look at this lather, when I feel how it's going on my face, because see, the thing with lather, for me, one of the biggest things about a lather is whether or not it handles water really well, and what it does when you throw a lot of water at it. Like, you know, I didn't put hardly any load in that brush, but I throw a pretty good bit of water at that lather. And how it feels on my face when I go to apply it, because you know, I cringe a lot when I see some of the guys lather here on YouTube, and I'm not picking on anybody. They are lathering their face, and the lather that they prefer for their face is their business and their choice. But some of the lathers that I see are really pasty and dry. And yeah, it looks nice and thick and stiff, but there's not hardly any water in that lather. And if I put that on my face, it'll go and suck all the moisture off of my face. And I can feel that when I go to put a lather on my face. And I don't like to feel. So for me, the way that a lather reacts to water, you know, how easy it is to find the water balance that feels right on my face is really important in a lather. And I shaved with this last night, so, you know, I'm not coming in it just with tonight's experience. This is not my very first experience with this soap. This is my second go at it, and that's one of the things that really impressed me about this soap, was that it was really dead easy to get the water ratio in this soap right. I mean, it just, I think part of that has to do with the fact that you don't really need a very big quantity of the stuff to make lather. You don't need a big thick load in your brush, so the water that you're putting in to the lather, if I were to compare it to other soaps, there's a whole lot more, even using the same amount of water, there's a whole lot more water going into this soap because the soap to water ratio is lower. There's less soap, actual soap, that's making up this lather. And so it's I've got a string on my shirt. It's finding that water balance a lot faster and a lot easier because of that. The leather's really rich. There's a consistency to the lather that I don't find in a lot of soaps. I have a few soaps that do this, that lather like this. Not many. There's a lot more creaminess, for lack of a better word, to the lather. And I love the scent. I know that I've read several times on several different forums that a lot of people were put off by the scent. I actually really love the way this stuff smells. It's a fairly strong scent. I would give it a 7 or an 8 on a scale of 1 through 10. It doesn't have gobs and gobs of slickness like a lot of other soaps that I've used, but the slickness is adequate to using a straight. I got good glide, and so what it comes down to is, do I think the soap is worth it? 1 second. I'm going to use for an aftershave my own little take on aftershave. It's got some witch hazel. It's got about 200 drops of lemon essential oil in 16 ounces of witch hazel, and some mineral oil, some glycerin, some aloe vera gel, and it's a nice, light, citrusy, pleasant type of aftershave that really makes my face feel good. So, okay, here's the $600 million question. Do I think this soap's worth $65? Well, that's a question that's hard to answer. I can tell you that when you go to ask that question, you have to I still got soap in that brush. When you go to ask that question, you have to consider a lot of different things. First of all, the quality of the lather. And to be very honest with you, the quality of this lather is absolutely wonderful. It's nice and rich and creamy. There's plenty of cushion, there's enough glide in it. It's not ate up with slickness, but there's enough there that it doesn't matter whether you're using a D or a straight. You're going to have enough to do what you need to do. But then you got to consider, how long the thing lasts. You do have to consider that. I know that a lot of people, they want to kind of take that out of the equation and say, well, that doesn't count, but it sure does. If I pay $20 for a soap and I pay $60 for the Martin de Candre, or $65, and the $20 soap lasts a third less than the Martin de Candre, that's a draw. Because I bought 3 of them in the time that I used the Martin de Candre. So that's $60 right there, and then shipping. So, okay, it matters. And I don't know how long I ran that brush over that, but I bet it wasn't much more than 15 or 20 seconds. And when I looked at the brush, it looked like it didn't hardly have anything in it. But it produced, look, this is what I got left over after 3 passes. And I bet you I could take this brush and, okay, let's try it. Let's beat this sucker up a bit. See what it does. Because the thing of it is that you got to consider that. And part of it, when you start asking, how much is a soap worth? How much is a product worth? Then you got to look at what makes it the value that it is. And look, I'm getting a ton more lather out of that soap. That's 3-4 passes. Right there. After I've already done 2 on my face. So that matters. It makes a difference. And I can look at this sample that was sent to me, and I bet you I'll get 20 shaves off that. Easy. So the lather's great. I love the scent. If you look at the ingredients list, it's got like 6 or 7 ingredients. That's it. It lasts a long time. If I had to choose one soap and I wanted to buy and be done with for a year, $65 for a tub of Martin de Candre would do the job, and he'd do it real well, and you'd be shaving in style. So, I don't, because I do videos and I want variety. Nobody wants to see me stand here and shave with Martin de Candre every single time I do a video, or any other soap for that matter. So, that's one of the reasons I cut the Williams mug soap shaves early. And I'll still do one every now and then, but, nobody wants to see me shave with the same soap over and over and over again. People want a little bit of a variety, and if I'm going to be doing this kind of thing, then I've got to consider that. So, I would not buy Martin de Candre for that reason, because $65 I can buy 3 soaps or 4 as opposed to Martin de Candre, and have 4 different videos up. So, but if I were looking for one soap to do it all and do the job, and $65 is cheap for a tub of this soap. It really is. I don't know, how to say it any better than that. I am really grateful. You know who you are. To the gentleman that sent me this soap. He also sent me a sample of St. James of London cream. We'll be doing that soon too. But I'm really grateful that you sent this, because I did not think that I would ever get the opportunity to try this soap, because it's $65. And when I get $65, like I said, I'm trying to get several different soaps so that I can do videos. And besides all that, there's a lot of people that simply can't afford $65 for a shave soap, no matter how good it is. And my videos, I'm going to use really nice products if I get my hands on them. You better believe it. But my channel has always been kind of the view of, what the average guy could afford. So I don't want to, I don't want to make light of that. I understand that because I'm in the same boat. But you could not, I don't believe that if you had the money, you could go wrong with Martin de Candre. It's just a wonderful soap. Thank you for sending this to me. I very much appreciate it. I hope that my review is, what you were looking for. I absolutely think it's a wonderful soap. And, all right, that's it. God bless you. And I hope to see you around the forums on YouTube and Google Plus and Facebook and everywhere else that we gather. Later.
Huh.